I know.
There we go. There's the wish list.
Well, I think that brings us around then to a new segment that I think we're going to be a new repeat segment that we'll be doing in future podcasts, and we're going to kick it off right.
Star Wars Fan of the Week.
Wow, what? Fan of the Week?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister Winston Churchill. When 900 years old, look as good you will not. A statement of which I often remind my children when the situation warrants. I've no shame in professing my fanaticism for the Star Wars. I recall fondly when first I saw it. We were celebrating my 102nd birthday with an advanced screening in what was previously an air raid shelter beneath Sandringham House. The Queen, still plump and ripe at only 51 and already 25 years a widow, had extended a personal invitation to view what she described as a groovy new space flick with wicked robots. Softened by age and ever fond of the affections of notably amorous and exceptionally available women, I accepted without pause. I had unfortunately missed the opening text exposition as I was wrestling a fourth go-go boot of brandy from Her Majesty's tenuous and cat-like claws, so I found myself hopelessly lost for the first half of the film. However, naturally, I was most enamored with Sir Alec Guinness, who had once reached out to me for advice in regard to portraying Adolf Hitler for a film entitled Hitler the Last 10 Days. I said, "Alley Cat," as he was often known at the time. If you want to capture the brooding and enigmatic spirit of our Hitler, spend 7 hours white-knuckling the inside lane of the roundabout at Parliament Square after injecting a triple hit of heroin into the whites of your eyes. I don't know if ultimately Alec capitalized on that guidance, but I was later informed that he became prone to picking fights with the catering lorries during filming, and went so far as to stab Julian Glover between takes with a handmade knife fashioned from equal parts cardboard and his own feces. I'm sure Julian was none too thrilled, but after the infection resolved, he was offered recompense via the role of General Veers in The Empire Strikes Back. However, you may notice the good General and Obi-Wan never appeared in any scenes together. No doubt a factor insisted upon by then-sober and vengeance-fearing Sir Alec. However, I digress. Once Her Majesty was appropriately limp and passed out on a transparent beanbag chair filled with cheese-flavoured popcorn, I furrowed my brow and dug in my heels, finding myself quite fond of this tale of a young boy with the latent ability to save the galaxy, with which I directly identified. Being born of accomplished lineage to a great and powerful, if not somewhat absent father, whose ethics were often the target of critics and lambasters alike. However, only the conspiracy theorists would sincerely compare my father to Darth Vader, and frankly, the slaughtering of innocent younglings and the alleged disemboweling of prostitutes are at the very least miles apart. I've often been asked if I took any kind of offense to the fact that the evil empire bore resemblance to our own empire, both in poise and in parlance. To that I say, nonsense. I was, after all, granted an honorary citizenship by U.S. President Kennedy, so as far as this old redcoat is concerned, that makes me just as much one of the good guys. In closing, I'd like to point out that I've notably said, it is always wise to look ahead, but difficult to look further than you can see. The reason for this, of course, is quite simple. In the wise words of one small green puppet, always in motion, the future is. I thank you. Now pour me another damned whiskey.
Star Wars Fan of the Week.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there he is.
It's something for all ages, really.
It is.
It is.
You know,
It
never,
is.
never pigeonhole the love for this beloved franchise. So
It's amazing.
it is. And wow, he was really kicking around for quite a while, wasn't he?
He was, man. That's
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, and the memory on that guy, I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Where's he been? I haven't seen him in the news or anything.
Oh, I think he passed away in the last couple of years or so. Real tragedy. People just wailing in the streets. So.